But what has a lemon to do with vibrant colors in a painting? Your composition works, your values are great, but your colors, they are muddy and grey when they should be bright and vibrant. That sounds like me too. But recently I made a big breakthrough. In this video I want to show you the super simple study setup that transformed my colors from muddy to vibrant. This doesn't cost you anything except for the painting gear that you already have. This can be done at any skill level. I think it also can be done at any medium. Acrylics, oil, digital, or in my case, gouache. Ready to transform your colors? Let's start from the beginning. In 2018 I started painting in gouache, mostly black and white film studies. It helped me getting to know the colors and the material, but anytime I tried color, it quickly collapsed for me, leaving me with muddy, grey, washed out results. Have you ever stood in a museum in front of a painting and wondered, how did the painter do that? In the beginning of the year I had the chance to see paintings of one of my favorite painters live in Madrid, Joaquín Sorolla. I had exactly that moment that I described in the beginning. I stood there baffled. It really inspired me to give color another try this year. So me and my partner booked a trip to Sicily in autumn, visiting some friends. Of course for the friends and the good food, but maybe also the chance to see and paint the light that Sorolla so masterfully depicted in his painting. So a really big goal, going from solid with black and white to kind of Sorolla colors. During summer and spring I started preparing my outdoor setup for painting. I self-built an easel and perfected my setup. Yet I haven't made any progress with color, and I only had about a month left before the trip. And suddenly I had the idea. Like an athlete, I needed to train the one weak spot, color. One study avoiding all the other complicated things. Perspective, composition, drawing, something that just focused on color. Or a lemon. It has a very simple form, so there's not a lot of drawing or perspective to be done. It has the most vibrant yellow-greenish color that I was struggling with big time. So the perfect challenge for me. For this simple study setup, you just need a lemon, optionally some colorful paper so you can change the environment and play with color a little bit. I highly recommend getting a light bulb that you can change to 5500 Kelvin, so the colors you're painting are neutral. Also recommend getting a light to light your lemon, so you can stage your lemon and get a nice lighting setup. Let's talk a bit about colors and my materials. I always store my gouache paintings in one of these zip bags. It prevents them from drying out if one day I forget to fully close one of these. For gouache I usually use these shorter brushes, or if they're too long I cut them off here. As for the rest of the setup, I have some paper that I then attach to a board with some tape, and this board then attaches here to my easel with one of these. And then I use a steel box as my palette that can then attach here. In the box I have like a kitchen sponge cut in half. When you keep that wet, your colors stay wet for a long time as well. Especially if you keep your palette in one of these plastic bags. That way it's very easy to transport and you can use it again and again. So I had 20 evenings to transform my colors to get ready for Sicily. 20 lemons. How hard could that be? No, I don't want to bore you with 20 times 45 minutes of me painting a lemon, so here are just my 5 top learnings from that run. First, take as much time for each painting as you need. Don't rush it. My initial plan was to limit myself for 15 minutes only. Reflecting on that first painting though, I decided it was more important to get practice in all the stages of the painting from the beginning to the end, as speed is just a matter of practice, and I rather wanted to get all the practices each of these paintings had to offer. Second, simplify. I tried to imagine the lemon as a low poly object, with a low amount of flat faces pointing in different directions. That way it became a lot simpler. Look for light areas, for shadow areas and highlights. 3. Look for the base color. If you see a gray color where you're not sure, always ask yourself, is it more red, more blue or more yellow? And then push that direction, make that color louder. And 4. Probably my biggest learning, saturation is connected to value. I tried to achieve this yellow in like a very bright color and couldn't. Only a couple of paintings in, I noticed I needed to tone down my values in order to achieve the most vibrant yellow. From there on, after the initial drawing, I always started with my most vibrant colors first. Use that as an anchor for your values and make all the other values darker or lighter according to the most saturated area you need to paint. And lastly, number 5, use complementary colors. Color only works in comparison to the others. If you put complementary colors in the same tonal range right next to each other, you create this vibrant explosion on the canvas. The yellow seems even more vibrant if you put a little bit of blue right next to it. Additionally to these 5 learnings, keeping a notepad next to you, write down what you want to improve in the next painting. And also look at some paintings that you really like. Try to understand how the colors work in that painting and copy that in your next session. In the end, I only have 19 paintings as I skipped one evening for an important family meeting. Overall, I was really happy with the progress I made. I became a lot more confident with the whole process of going from blank canvas to the painting, became better in my mixing and with colors overall. There's a big jump especially from the first to the 5th or 6th painting here. I think that's where I improved the most. But was I ready to go paint outside in Sicily? I don't know, but I was so excited to try. Oh my god. Oh my god. After the first day of walking around and getting to know Palermo, the second day we used to explore the botanic gardens. Away from the hectics of the city, it was finally time and test my practice. We came by this beautiful patch of light on the pathway, lots of warm light bouncing around into the leaves and the stems of the trees. The bench overlooking the scene and not too many people walking around. Perfect, that was my spot. So I got set up with my self-built easel and palette. I was so excited. This moment was the moment I had trained for all the evenings before. Would it work out? Had I really improved? With long, straight, simple lines, I blocked my composition and drawing in. Not focusing on details, but overall shapes and composition. Just how I learned on the lemons. Then a quick wash in with some earthy reds to define the values a little. Next, I laid in my most bright and saturated colors. I tried to be bold, thick and messy with my brush strokes, knowing I would define things later. It is most important at this messy stage to quickly cover the white of the paper. After all the white is gone, it's much easier to judge the colors in relationship to each other. You can push things darker or brighter when needed. I had so much fun, time was flying by. And here is the finished result. I was so happy with this. 1 month earlier, I would not have thought I could achieve something like that. I guess there's a reason why a lot of classical painters used to do still lifes. I can really recommend this practice, no matter the experience you have or the medium you're using. The only thing that stands between you and more vibrant colors is the number of studies that you do. Nothing can beat your own practice. That's it for me. Happy painting, everybody. Bye bye.